So with these two decks, the goal is to get the most lopsided duel in SWCCG history. These cooperative decks, the light side is going to be helping the dark side do that. And trying to do it rather quickly. I'm going to put a bunch of cards out on the table that'll help things get going. I mean, there's always, as I've said before with these videos, both players can just drop their decks and use cards like traffic control to put cards back. In fact, I do something like that here to speed things along, but just trying to get it done in a relatively short amount of turns is the idea here. So light side's gonna put out a lot of icons for both sides so we can draw more cards. And we're going to see how badly Vader can beat Luke in the duel. He lost pretty bad on Cloud City and Empire Strikes Back. We'll see how much worse we can make it here. So I've been using this in a lot of my videos and a lot of my actual decks that I try to win games with too, putting out cards like Droid Detector and Caller, just kind of spamming the table with those in order to peek at my force POW. But since it's the first turn, I actually use the effect to deploy a Droid Detector. And starting next turn, I'll be putting more droid detectors out and then start peeking at the top cards of my force pile to get stuff into hand quicker. And reactor terminals to send stuff back. We're the Bait. I just chose as my Destiny 7 card here since it seemed pretty thematic for, Luke dueling Vader on Cloud City. And that's the key card here that's going to start our duel is Vader's Obsession. So each adds 2 destiny to power. So we're going to try to get Vader's power way up. And the cool thing about this one is that it's a gigantic force swing. So if the dark side wins by 20, for example, they retrieve 20 force and the light side loses 20 force. So we're going to see how we can get that difference. And not sure if I mentioned yet already in this video, I am playing both decks right now, so it's not much of an accomplishment to get a high duel total when you're playing both decks. But we're getting some sights out here. And light side's trying to get out some cards to help the dark side get a high duel total here for Vader. So we're deploying more devices. I could really put all the droid detectors on one site, but I tried to put 3 at each site. That way I could tell exactly how many I had out on the table, because when I use Death Star reactor terminal to peek, I have to make sure I don't have more cards or more devices on table than cards in my force pile, because if that's the case, then I actually don't get to take one into hand. At least that's what happened in one of the test games I did of this. And I'd like to get Forlom out to start recycling stuff, but I'm not able to get him. But I do have a Vader in hand now. And I picked that Vader because he'll make Luke power -1. But yeah, I don't need this many Were the Baits in the deck, but it makes it so I don't really have to worry about putting the exact cards in the right order when I eventually get to the dueling. So light side's going to start putting some cards back. Well, I guess next turn they'll start putting back since they got that card out now. But yeah, how can we get Vader's power higher? That's the goal here. And it's kind of slow going to draw all these cards. The Emperor's out there basically just for an extra icon, and the idea was to pull Force Lightnings and cycle those with Forlom, but I didn't get the Forlom, so I gotta take another route here. Okay, so using the normal reactor term, I'm just going to dump all these 7s back in my deck. That takes a little while. So I got 2 lightsabers, and the reason for that, some of you may have already guessed, but that'll become clear fairly soon. Okay. Oh, still got a whole section of them over here yet. So that is a little bit annoying. There's ways I could have done this where I didn't put all those in there, but it's going to be very easy to make sure I get nothing but 7s. Once. Oops. I accidentally put a droid detector back, but I figured, why bother with the revert since he's on the top and I'll be able to get him out later. If I even need to. All right, so we're going to peek. I guess I can take a droid detector into hand because everything else was a 7 in there so far. I was hoping to get a 4-LOM out of there. But deploy the Vader. Why not put out another droid detector? Now, the reason I need 2 lightsabers is because Darth Vader's lightsaber, this is the Death Star 2 one, which probably the first time I've ever used it in any deck, but during a duel, he can throw it to add 1 to each of his dual destiny draws. And here, my character's lightsabers each power +2. So if I don't have the extra lightsaber on him, then I'm going to lose that power +2. So he's not really using both of them. That blast rifle makes him power +1, I believe. Yeah, warrior's power +1. And the stormtrooper utility belt makes him power +1. So yeah, if you know of ways that I can get Vader's power higher that I didn't think of, definitely let me know in the comments. Because I kind of look, well, I used the search feature in GEMP to find keywords that included power, but there's probably ways to get his power higher. One of them is the light side helping get his power higher. And that card is the reason why I did not, that specific card is the reason why I didn't use Lord Vader, who has power of 7, because Lord Vader is immune to that card. So the light side is putting cards back. Spoiler alert, they're not very high destiny cards. So out comes a Luke. Could have been any low power Luke. And I just deployed all these skill cards on him for fun because it was something for the light side to do while some cards for the light side to search for while the dark side builds up their hand. So Luke's a super pilot now. He's a smuggler. He's a thief. He's a scout. And he's an even more effective warrior. So he's power 4. We'll want to get him down to power 0. Uncontrollable Fury on Vader. That's the card that Lord Vader's immune to. So now Vader's power 10 on his own. And there are ways to increase Vader's power in battle, but from what I could tell, none of them I could think of really persist that I didn't use, really persisted beyond battle. This duel has to happen in the move phase in order for the force loss and retrieval thing to work. So I guess if you do like an epic duel during a battle, you could have Vader's power much higher. But in order to use the Vader's obsession text as the specific text on this card, you have to do it during the move phase. So I guess I should say that there are ways probably to get a higher duel total, but I'd be interested to see if there's ways to get a higher Vader's obsession total as played in the original Vader's obsession text, because Epic Duel overrides that text. And Maul Strikes was in my hand to get a lightsaber out quicker if I needed one. Of course, I could have just put another lightsaber in there. But we might as well put out 4-LOM, even though he's not going to do much. And that's a fun effect. So it's going to make Luke power and forfeit -3. So he's already down to 1. When we move Vader over, he's going to go up to power 12, and Luke's going to go down to power 0 because he makes non-Jedi power and forfeit -1. So Luke's not doing too hot. He's power and forfeit -4, so he's a 0-4 right now. I'm sorry, 0-3 because he's -4. So we're going to duel Luke. And just to add some extra force loss, it's not really necessary, Sith Fury. So if the person with the lower total here after these destinies has the person with the lower total after these destinies loses the duel, they have to lose 6 force. And his destinies is 0. There's going to be a lot of his destiny being 0. That seems like a fitting card for this interaction, because his destiny is not looking good. So I might as well draw all these his destinies. There's so many options for 0, but this one just seemed to fit. All right, we're using focus attack to add a dual destiny. And can't forget, you got to play the lightsaber, throw that into the use pile. And now we're drawing 3 8s is the idea. Did I get all the 7s there? I'm sure I did. So the lightsaber made those each +1. That's 24. Plus we had Vader's power of 12 for 36. You probably guessed what was coming by now for the light side. So you end up with 36 retrieval for the dark side, 36 loss for the light side. In an actual game once, I think it was a 9-9 swing. So I beat somebody by 9 and was able to retrieve 9 force because they weren't really expecting that. So the light side's going to start paring down their deck here. Could have just conceded, but sometimes it's fun to watch the deck deplete. And yep, it's going to be all his destinies left. So obviously not a light side deck designed to do anything other than get beat down by Vader. But that's the end of that one. So it was a 36 difference for Vader's obsession. And I'd be very, very interested to see if there's anything I missed that, could make it 37, 38, or even higher. But 36 was the best I could do from some research through the GEMP files and the keywords and trying to get Vader's power up. And I was getting Luke to a power of 0 while drawing 0. So yeah, if you know of anything that could add to that total, let me know in the comments. It'd be cool to find out. Either way, whether you can think of cards or not, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.